I can see lots of names I recognize there. Hi everyone. Should we just unmute? Is it possible to unmute just for a minute so everyone can say a quick hi?
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Hi everyone. We're going to probably have to switch video off once we get into the presentations because of connection. But if everyone would like to have their videos on just for a minute so we can wave to each other and smile and say hi and
hey Ron.
Know each other here. Hi
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Good morning.
Hi Amy.
Ron.
I'm only putting mine on for 1 second. I'm in my pajamas. I didn't think there'd be video today. So I'm going to shut off.
Hi.
But nice to see everyone.
I'm having a bad hair day, so.
Good evening from Shakti Shalini, India.
Hi there.
That's it.
Good morning from Costa Rica.
Hello.
Hello.
Morning. Good morning from Santa Fe.
Double.
And good
But
morning.
you see what I mean? Yeah. Okay, that's enough.
Okay, well, it's lovely. We've got a fantastic mix of people that we know. We've got people from our other partners who have joined. I know a number of you were on our first call last week on Guatemala, so it's great. I think we will. What do we want to do, Travis? Do we want to switch videos off? Okay, great. So hello everyone, welcome. We are just to kind of give, I think most people are probably familiar with Zoom by now. I know a lot of people have been using it during this period. We're going to keep everyone muted except for the person who's speaking, just so we don't get overwhelmed with background noise. But there is a chat function. If you go to the bottom of your screen, there is a chat icon. So please feel free to post questions or thoughts and share them in the chat box. We will have hopefully lots of time for question and answers after we hear from Anuradha and Usha. So please feel free to kind of send your questions along, and Travis and I will be moderating that chat box. If you have any problems with the technology with Zoom during the call, Travis is our resident techie Zoom expert. So please try to kind of reach out to him and he'll see if he can help this kind of level of support and interest during this time. This is our second ever virtual hub meeting. We did our first one last week on Guatemala and had one of our partners join from there. It went very well, and I know several of you joined last week to hear about the situation in Guatemala. The idea for these Zoom meetings, the idea was to kind of bring people together to hear what's happening on the ground, rather than bombard you all with email updates, and also because things, situations are changing all the time on a daily basis. We felt that creating some space for people to come together and hear updates, and most importantly, to hear them directly from our partners working on the front lines, and so that you can have the space to ask questions to them directly. So that's what the idea of these Zoom calls is about. We're absolutely thrilled to be joined today by two incredible and inspiring women from India. We have Anuradha Bhosale from AVANI in South India, and Usha Choudhary from Vikalp Sansthan in Rajasthan. So very soon I will hand over to them so that you can hear about what's happening and their response efforts. Most of you are already very familiar with Go Philanthropic Foundation, so I don't want to give a very long introduction about what we do. But for those of you who are meeting for the first time today, I just wanted to give a very brief introduction, and obviously feel free to ask questions in the chat box that we can answer later on. So at GoPhil, we partner with grassroots organizations working on human rights, health and education across 7 countries. Community philanthropy is very important to us. We have always had a strong philosophy of local solutions to local challenges, believing that communities and community leaders like Anuradha and Usha know best how to tackle the challenges in their communities. And this is never more relevant than it is today in this time of crisis. Although this is a global pandemic, COVID-19 is having different impacts in different countries and within different communities. And our partners, none of our partners are normally involved in disaster response or food relief type work. Their programs are much more extensive than that. However, they've had to turn into emergency frontline responders in their communities. They're having to provide support that they wouldn't normally be doing. This is outside of their regular program area, such as providing food relief for very vulnerable families, medical aid, supporting with buying soap, hygiene products for families. So this is a huge challenge for them, both logistically and also our partners tend to be small organizations who don't have the kind of cash reserves for this kind of crisis. You know, none of them were prepared for something of this scale. So this is where GoPhil has tried to step in. We set up a few weeks ago a rapid response fund to raise funds that we can send across quickly and efficiently to help our partners to respond to these life-saving needs in their communities. And I know many of you on the call today have already given very generously to this fund, and we are hugely grateful because we know that this is a very difficult time for everyone. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the fund later on, but I wanted to kind of hand you over first of all to Anuradha, who is the founder of AVANI in Kolhapur in South India. She's one of our very first partners and an incredibly inspiring community leader and force of nature. So Anuradha, we would love to hear from you about what's happening there.
Hello everyone. Like I would just cover the point what we are doing. So I would say the corona, I mean COVID-19 already has reached the community level here. We have like three people died in the street and many are affected. More than 2,400 are quarantine in the different places, and many more cases are happening. So there's a lot of people are very scared and feel very unsafe. But the communities we are working, due to lockdown, in first lockdown, it was all of sudden. And second lockdown was also all of sudden. People didn't expect that it's going to extend. Because most of the people we are working, the migrant labor, the waste pickers, the brickyard laborers, and sugarcane farms workers. These people don't have television, no newspaper. Most of them do not know about this COVID-19. So they were just confused why this is happening, you know. So first program we did when the lockdown happened, we organized community awareness program, and we took the permission of the collector, local district magistrate, and our workers. We reached out to the community, single person, and we talked with the leaders, handed over some written information in the leader's hand, and told that you need to educate the whole community. What is COVID-19? What prevention people need to take, and how they need to keep the social distancing. So first we implemented awareness program. We are still doing in many places on brickyards and on sugar. Secondly, we realized the need on brickyard. Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you, Anuradha ji.
secondly, on brickyard, we realized that after 4-5 days, children were, the families had no food to eat on first lockdown. So we were really worrying that what needs to be done. So we immediately, we were contacting certain donors, and in our new campus, we started a community kitchen. We started from scratch. Scott helped me to put a small kitchen on the open area, and we started cooking food for 320 children until every day. So every day 320 children of 7 brickyards are fed by AVANI. We cook food and we take them physically, distribute the food, keep the distances. We also were able to distribute the masks to the children and the parents. But they are very confused, And what government did, government told the employer, you need to take care of these people. But shops are closed down. The owner, the employer, brickyard employer don't want to support on any level. So this is very tragic situation for the migrant, for the brickyard labor camps. Then the program which is supported by GoPhil, that is shelter for the homeless women. So because due to lockdown, so many people became displaced. They did not have their vehicles to go back. The public transport stopped. So we have to start. We had 4 shelters. We have to start 3 shelters newly. So we immediately started making survey on railway station, ST stand, and we saw that so many people are sleeping on the road, no food to eat because hotels, everything was locked. And then we persuaded government to give us places, provide us basic amenities, and 3 shelters for 110 people were started immediately in 3 days. And the food, we are doing a lot of mobilization from the community. For 3-4 days, we did the mobilization in terms of food. And on 4th day, government started providing food for another 3 new shelter. So now government is helping us to provide the food right from breakfast to lunch and dinner for 110 people. But it was so much, it was a lot of stress for us, because people were really living in very, very bad condition that time. Then we, third category we are working are waste speakers. So waste speakers, we are running programs since last 4 years. Their total livelihood has gone. And same thing, we got so many calls that we are not having any food, can you help us? So because there are 1200 waste speakers, it is impossible for us to reach out to everyone to give the food. So simultaneously, we started doing advocacy with the government and made the list of these waste speakers and said that at least rice and wheat should be given to this family, whether they have ration cards or not. And luckily, just 2 days ago, they have started getting wheat and rice. So around 700 at least family have got all the kit by government. But it just has rice and dal, rice and wheat. AVANI, we try to tap a lot of resources, and we got some donors from different part of the world. We were able to do some dollars, and we will be able to take care of at least 700 families. In the kit, there will be from we are going to distribute our kits, which will have chili powder, oil, hand sanitizer, soaps, because these people don't have soaps. Then oil, then sugar, tea powder. So this kit we will be providing with the help of donors. We are also covering 2 other districts, that is Sangli and Satara. So 3,200 waste speakers we are going to try to reach out in coming 4 days. The 4th category we reached is a migrant population. So migrant population, that those who have become displaced, that they were working in ice cream factory, a construction worker, and they want to run back home because of they feel unsafe, and they don't know what's going to happen. So we start, till today we are making, 3 people are making survey round the clock and informing government what needs to be done and where people are homeless and where people are hungry. We work directly with children, homeless women and men, waste speakers and migrant population. The strategies we used here first is community awareness program on COVID-19, then direct help through the different, providing them different material. Third strategy is advocacy with the government, seeing that government takes care of these things, and these advocacy efforts will be done at the longer stage. Now, one very scary thing is happening, that so many children are getting abused due to lockdown. And so few of the girls from the community found us that their parents want to get them married off. So we could produce those girls in front of CWC and saw that their marriages are prevented. So, and we are also trying to reach out to the children through the video call and to the community leaders. So what is happening in the community, making them cautious about the illness, why they need to be at home. But we have a lot of concern, and we feel very tragic for all the people who are in unorganized sector. Their life is going to be very bad with all this lockdown. So this is what is happening in Kolhapur. My team is working round the clock. We are keeping social distancing. From tomorrow, we are creating 5,000 masks because there is a great demand, and self-help groups which are supported by GoPhil, they will be creating 5,000 masks from tomorrow onwards. 5 women from the self-help group, they are also involved in community kitchen. So we were able to give them some job. So we are trying to give some opportunity to these women so they can earn also a little bit. But we are going to take care of them for 1 month by providing the kit given by our donor, and rice, every individual from the family 5 kg of rice, and wheat will be given to every family. So that will end them for 1 whole month, So we are again planning the strategy with the leaders, what can be done at the next level. But first and foremost, very important things we are doing, that is we are mobilizing our community leaders very well. So that's very important. Yeah. So this is what is my presentation, what we are doing right now.
Thank you so much, Anuradha. That was a fantastic overview. I mean, I think your presentation demonstrates that our partners, given that they are so embedded in these communities, are able to respond so fast, and were able to respond almost as soon as the lockdown hit, which is really incredible. Anuradha, what you're always well known for amongst the GoPhil network is your ability to mobilize people, your advocacy with the government, and your ability to mobilize local community leaders, and that's obviously very evident from the incredible work you're doing right now. That was news to me about the self-help groups making 5,000 masks, so that's really incredible, and such a great initiative. So it's really fantastic. I mean, I wondered, please feel free to send any questions across. I had a first question for you, which is, you talked about what the government was doing and your sort of local community leaders. What are local businesses doing? Are you getting much support from the business leaders? Have the hotels and restaurants been stepping up to provide food? And what's the involvement been like from local business specifically?
Yeah, all the hotels are all locked down, but government has formed a district committee here. We are part of the committee, and those AVANI is a part of the committee, and few hotel people and one of another NGO, we together we provide food to the people, those who have migrant, and they don't have anything and they want to go back to their homes. So for the shelters, 110 people in the shelter, they are providing food, and also construction workers and all. So government is doing very well. Local hotels are also contributing. But the problem is, in first lockdown, everyone contributed so much. But in second lockdown, people are going back because they don't have much. So that's why in second lockdown, we are working as a committee, we are working with the government how their resources can be tapped, and the whatever budget is sanctioned for the district, how that can be utilized. So we have every alternate day we have meeting, and what is the budget and how we need to work out on that. So very good support. Everyone is very positive here. But of course, in certain ways like bureaucracy, sometimes they hook up to a lot of rules, but we are trying to make them flexible.
Yeah. And I understand, like, from what you're saying, and this is the same as what we're hearing from many of our partners right now. The lockdown itself is what's causing the immediate problem more than coronavirus. The lockdown meaning that people can't work, they can't get food, they can't support their families. But in terms of the hospitals and the healthcare side of things, are the hospitals in Kolhapur doing anything to prepare for a possible outbreak in Kolhapur? Like, have you seen the government and health responders stepping up their efforts in terms of preparing for cases should they come?
Yeah, they have made an arrangement for the people who are affected by COVID-19. There's a special arrangement. Of course, the hospital is still not clean, but what is our old government hospital, they made some arrangement for that. If any other patient comes normally, they have arrangement to shift them in other places. But the problem here, whoever are suspected cases of COVID-19, their swab, when they give for testing, the result come after 3-4 days. Meantime, these particular people, they infect so many people. That is what is happening, So they have to give the swab to Pune for checking whether the person is positive or negative,
Okay.
So we had one of our women, she was admitted as a suspected COVID-19 on Sunday, and 57 hours, all of us, we did not sleep, because if she would have turned to be positive, COVID positive, around 1,200 people would have to be kept in quarantine. So it was very scary for us.
So difficult. Yes. I saw your message about that. What a relief that she was okay. Because that must have been a very stressful time. We have a question from Leila Mehta. She asks, in addition to informing the government of where the most vulnerable are and their needs, you mentioned advocacy with the government. Could you please describe what's involved with advocating to local government? So maybe if you could just talk a little bit more. And Leila says hi to Anuradha. So if you could talk a little bit more about your advocacy work with the local government there.
So actually, with the Rise Up, I have learned how to do the effective advocacy, because Rise Up has trained me as how to be an effective leader, and how to and they taught me how to do the effective advocacy. So in terms of what we did, so as soon as this happened, we made the list of the women and the leaders, the and migrant workers also the brickyard workers. With their participation, we made the list and we submitted to we made leaders to go and one by one and submit to the government office and say that we are so many and we need this. We don't have ration cards and we will need this for survival. So we mobilized, even though it was hard time, but we saw the leaders go and approach the collector. We also put these things in the local newspaper. So it got highlighted. And we kept on contacting them on the phone, the leaders. And that's why finally people have started, government is positive to provide them 2 items till at least which will last them for 1 whole month. It might increase, but at least government has become, and we were also, I'm part of the, AVANI is part of the National Network of Waste Pickers Association. So we could reach even to the union minister, to prime minister, union minister, state minister, writers and memorandum saying that at least, I mean, all the unorganized sector people should have all these belongings during the lockdown. So it had a very good effect and government acted very fast. So through the participation of the people, we did this advocacy process.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Anuradha. It was really wonderful to hear from you. We'll move on now just to hear from Usha about the situation in Rajasthan, but please feel free, if anyone has more questions for Anuradha, please feel free to keep sending them in the chat box because we'll have some time for questions for both of them at the end. So Usha is the founder of Vikalp Sansthan, an organization based in Udaipur in Rajasthan. Usha is very well known across Rajasthan for her amazing work on women's and girls' rights, particularly in terms of prevention of child marriage and as an activist around child marriage. So I'm going to hand you over to Usha, who's going to talk to you a little bit about their work with the communities there. So thanks, Usha.
Thank you, Emily, and hello, everybody. Good evening from India. So thank you very much for everybody, for you all make time for us for this call, and you trust in our organization and our work, so you support us in this situation. So I want to say from Vikalp and from community, all of you, thank you. And we are working settled in Udaipur, Rajasthan area. In this our area we are working with rural and urban poor community, vulnerable community. They are socially, culturally and economically very vulnerable and marginalized community. And in this lockdown situation, we just jumped into the work, and because our community in a daily basis community who are earning in a day and making their food and purchasing their things for their daily food. So these are all this community, and some are our support people are because we are running a helpline. So our domestic violence survivor women and girls also in this situation. So first we went to the community and we did our team did a survey. What is the situation in this lockdown things and what things they have and what they need for their daily basis things. Then we find out, because the wheat government is giving them wheat, so that is the enough for that. And that's how we find out they need things like oil, spicy, spices for the vegetable, and rice, sugar, and tea leaf, soap, and mask. One meeting that 10 women told us we not drink tea before last 4 days. So that was really very shocking for us. Before that women meeting, we don't feel tea leaf and sugar is important. We only listing the oil and the chili, turmeric, and salt, rice. But we not think about that sugar and tea leaf is also basic need. But after that, we also add sugar and tea leaf in this all things, and then we find out in that survey lots of that widow women, single women, old age people, they have no children, and physically challenged people, ill people, some accidental people, and some children who have no parents, but their grandparents, their grandmother take care of them. So these kind of list all we find out they are in very vulnerable and very bad situation in this lockdown system. One thing is, and second things is because in rural area the police also and the system also very restricted. They are like no go out anywhere to purchase anything. And I saw in Udaipur is little bit okay. If you want to take grocery, 9 to 11 is soap open time. But in rural area only half hour open time and then close. And because lots of people have no two-wheeler, no four-wheeler in rural area, so how they can move 4 kilometers for the purchase grocery, and how they move 4 kilometers for the any simple fever or any simple disease. So these are all kind of the situation, because in one situation all lots of people are supporting also here, and government also supporting here, but they are reaching like nearby urban areas. But in that remote area, none of people reaching there, because that is like a hilly to hilly, so nobody can do to dare to do go one home again to half kilometer another home. So this they have no any lots of people are not reaching there. So we also had meeting with government, and we also discussed with government about all these things, and government support us, and we did advocacy with government what is the situation, and they support us. If you need anything, we are with you, that government people told us. And we are if you want to take some more things, then we also give you to take people, because they are not going in that kind of area, all the things. So these are we are supporting that kind of peoples, and in urban area we are supporting the they are also daily wages, and some lots of women are working in the flat, they are maid work, but in last 1.5 months they have no work, and they don't know after the open whole things that that their family give them money in this lockdown 1.5 month or not. They are not sure, because they have like that kind of situation. Domestic violence survivor women also facing that system. So we are also supporting them all these things, and we are giving oil, all kitchen spices thing, and sugar, rice, tea leaf, 2 soaps and 2 masks of the family. And we are also asking them to, you can also wear in your homemade mask. So we are also giving that kind of learning them. And till date, we reach 400 families, today 400 families, to give them 15 days material. So that 15 days material, that's it. And our next target is 600 people to reach. So we want to reach, give you 1,000 family in this thing. So 600 is our next 2-week plan, is to reach 600 families. And we are also going to door to door with the, to see their situation, what is their situation in this condition, and what government facilities they have, like if they have no pension, if they have not ration, about the wheat. So we are also giving them wheat flour if the government not giving them wheat. So that is the additional for the people who have not that kind of government giving them. And what in this situation also, you are all also so in media and lots of this migrant laborers coming continue to all these things. Before 4 days, we found in our Gogunda area, in a tribal area, urban, 17 people are coming from the another district, like far away, 120 to 150 kilometers far away, to walk through forest to forest. Because if they come to road, then the police and all things then caught them. So they are very afraid. And some community leader told us they are, and they have 7-8 children in small in their lap, and continue 3 days they walk, continue there, and they are sitting there. And when we reach there, the adult 3-4 adults run away in the hills because they don't want to caught, and they don't want, they're scared about the all things. Then we gave them trust. We are not your enemy, we are supporting you, and your village also like 30-40 kilometers far away from here. So next 1 or 2 days you will also walk there in with 7-8 children. So it's very difficult. So we convince and counseling them continue. Then we call to local officer, like a revenue officer who have charge to the for that block, and we share with all situation with him, and then he continue manage the vehicle for all that people. And then we took away them the block office them, and then screening all process we did with them, and giving them the food material for next 15 days, wheat flour and all these things. And then we then they send to back their home. So this is the situation till now. To people like to feeling this kind of migration continue, all these things. And we are same time doing the awareness with the like social distancing, and awareness about the government scheme in this lockdown situation. What is the government giving that scheme, that benefit, about the money, about the some gas cylinder, about lots of the pension.
Great, thank you so much, Usha. I mean, I think it's been incredible that you've been able to reach 400 families already. You know, you have, I know Vikalp, the way Vikalp works is to have a large team of volunteers from the community. So you are very closely aligned with these communities and these villages, which I guess is what makes it relatively easy for you to identify the villages and the families who are most in need. We have a question that's come in from Elaine and Bruce. They wanted to know how the Vikalp team was able to move around so freely during this lockdown. How are you finding it logistically in terms of going into these villages and moving around, given that movement is very restricted?
Emily, we have like that Gogunda block officer give us ID. He give us ID, so that ID we are easily moved in that area. Nobody can stop us that because we have the ID. So that is the easy in Gogunda, but in the urban area is the difficult, because urban area have where we are working with low urban poor community. In that area we have 4 slums for we are working there, and that area have before 15 days Udaipur only found that 4 positive cases from that area. So it is a complete curfew in that area. Even sanitizer, big machine for everything, car, water, truck, anything. So that is the big curfew. So that area have some restriction, some problem about the going. Like today also I went to in that area, but that I asked for, we are giving for this situation, that the police officer easily okay. But when I come back, then officer stopped me. Madam, tomorrow you will not go there. It's our officer pressure. So in that moving area in the urban, that is difficult. And in that area they are facing also lots of problem, lots of pressure. So that is, even who are our team member in that city area, so they are also not coming here. So lots of difficulties to coming here.
Okay. So lots of challenges in terms of movement then, particularly in the urban areas. We have a question from Lydia. She wanted to know what kinds of collaboration is happening or not happening with other local NGOs. Is there any collaboration going on with other NGOs in Udaipur? And also with the local government, I wondered how that coordination is working.
Like local government coordination is working very well, and like in this situation, it's like I'm asking about the Udaipur. In this COVID-19 situation, all government and NGO working like a pushing together. Like one government officer said me in Gogunda, don't worry, Ushaji, we are as a team. In this situation, we are as a team. Our whole effort is as a team. So if you need anything, then we can do. And if we need anything, you can support us. And if you have not this food item, then you ask us, we also give from here. So like in this time, this is the spirit. Before this COVID-19, never think like in this kind of spirit together from the all collaboration. So that was really good.
That's great. And also for the other NGOs, because there's quite a few NGOs based in Udaipur city. Are they supporting? I know that the areas you're supporting around Gogunda are much more rural and probably not many other NGOs there, but are any of the other Udaipur city NGOs working in partnership with you in supporting these communities? What have you seen in terms of other NGO efforts?
And no, in this time, no, because the organization have their own area, their own community, so they are working in there. So and they have their own donors. So not this kind of together in this way. Everybody is like jumping to, because like another said, never thinking about this kind of situation. So everybody jumping into supporting all these things.
Okay, great. We have a question from Mai, who is our program manager in Guatemala. She wanted to know where most people are getting their information about coronavirus. Do you feel that the population in the areas where you're working, Usha, are well informed about the virus and the risks?
They are like because of like WhatsApp, because of media. They don't know corona. Like children are asking coronavirus. They know coronavirus, but and they don't know how that coronavirus going on, how coronavirus spread. So we are also doing that kind of awareness. Why is mask is necessary? Why is it is important to talk to like distance, hand wash, and like mask, and this kind of social distancing. So why this is lockdown? Why this is important in lockdown? So that awareness we are doing with them. They have not like in when we go community have not that kind of distance. We are asking please sitting there, and then we doing first chapter, because that's why we have lots of time. But like I spent 20 days in Gogunda to Delhi because of like one village one day. So like 1 hour like this kind of awareness about the corona spreading, all these things. And second is the like what is the government doing in this situation, this crisis, and translating the incentives and all these things we are giving. So this is like taking time, and to find out like who is the really needy, who is the first needy, to like giving them now. They have no food. So that people supporting, volunteers supporting to listing that all kind of things. But one story I will like, we have that things, and when I started to my car and my colleague with Anita with me, and then 3-4 children playing there, and they told us, Didi, 2 families are there and they have no father, and they have like 4-5 siblings. So please you support them. So that is like very surprise and happy moment for the like 6-year children also feeling what is the situation crisis and what is the more vulnerable. So and the children took us to on that family, and that really we saw their situation really very worse, very bad situation. So this is the like the things.
This is incredible. Yeah, I think this is what we're seeing in so many parts of the world, is that these kind of crises tend to bring out the best in people, and communities really helping each other out. But you know, that's incredible to have 6-year-old children being able to kind of help identify families in need. Well, thank you so much, Usha. That was great to hear about the situation. Obviously, you know, terrible situation, but great to hear firsthand from you what's going on and your incredible response to it. I know that we have got Anjali and Tanmoyee from our partner in Delhi, Shakti Shalini, on the call. So thank you so much for you joining, because it's so late in the evening your time. I'm going to totally put you on the spot and see if one of you would like to just kind of say, or one or both of you, just to come on and say hello to us, and maybe just kind of talk for a couple of minutes about what's happening there, because I'm sure everyone would love to hear what's going on with Shakti Shalini in Delhi. Oh. Tanmoyee, is your mic on? Oh, hi.
Yeah, hello. Hi everyone.
Hi, we can hear you.
Yeah. I think Anjali. Okay.
Is Anjali trying
Anjali,
to?
if you can turn on.
I think you're Anjali.
I think her audio is not working. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Anjali's lips moving, but I can see it's muted. Did you want to just say a quick hello, Tanmoyee?
Yes, sure. Hello everyone and good evening. This whole time has been really challenging, yet very opportunistic as well, in part of just figuring it out that what way we can be useful to our beneficiaries, and in what way we can just reach out to our beneficiaries. So I think while the lockdown started, we have actually thought that the lockdown won't be like, it won't be extended till 3rd May as it has been now. So we planned for a 2-week planning that we did for our organization. Was that we thought that we would be like, because uh, carrying out, for example, the project that is being supported by GoPhilanthropic is Kushalta Vikas Kendra, which is our skills development center, and carrying out classes during this time has become quite a task for us, because our participants come from communities, and it's a gathering, all in all, and we can't do that. So what we thought was that we would use this time in building the capacity of our team, of our Shakti Shalini team. So we did a 2-week digital capacity building during this time, given the fact that the whole team is working on gender, and the whole ideology and the whole field of gender goes through a lot of changes with the change in society as well, and that thorough upgradation of our own selves to work in this field is also very much important, which sometimes we don't get it when we are in all together in this working field. We don't get the time to work on our own selves or to update ourselves. So we thought we would take up a digital capacity building during this 2 weeks of lockdown. So that was there. Along with it, in our shelter homes, our residents, our residents, they are already going through counseling processes, they are going through kvk classes, and all of a sudden all of these came to halt with this lockdown. So it was also a very new situation for them to deal with. So what we came up with was that we started movie screening and discussions with the residents. Then we started, it was a very new thing for us, so we started with online sessions, online Zoom sessions, along with the volunteers of kvk, the trainers and the shelter home participants. Then we what we started to do was that the first thing was that to keep them engaged in day-to-day activities. So what we planned was that we planned yoga and we planned Zumba classes every morning for them, so that they are in a light mood during this stressful time. Every day they are doing yoga, they are doing Zumba. We have online art sessions for them. Then for the next, then we have movie screening and the discussions, online discussions. Then for the next week we have planned mindfulness activities for them. There will be theater online workshops for them taken up by our theater volunteers. Then there would be English classes and life skill classes, so to not stop them from learning and keep it going. So all of it we are arranging it online sessions through video calls. And this is very new for us, but it has come up very successfully for us as well. And the residents, the participants, they have also gotten used to the video call sessions now. So this is what is happening. And with the community outreach.
Yeah, sorry, Tanmoyee, we're really short of time. I was
Yeah.
just going to say that's fantastic, and Shakti Shalini are absolutely brilliant. One of the things that I love about your organization is how innovative you are in dealing with situations. I know that I did speak to Bharti just before the call, and she said that your community outreach team have been busy identifying vulnerable people in the community. Did you want to just mention that just for a few seconds before we have to wrap up?
Yeah. So with the community outreach, so we have identified daily wage laborers, domestic workers, mostly who are not having any work or any income source currently and are in dire need of relief. We work on 5 marginalized communities. So from 5 marginalized communities, we have been identifying households wherein a relief is required. And along with community outreach, the community participants who come to kvk for their classes, so we have been calling them and taking information that how they are doing during this time, what kind of help they might be requiring, and also identifying kvk participants from community who need any kind of relief. So we are in that identification process currently, and hopefully we might benefit them to some extent. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Tanmoyee. I really appreciate it. I know that you weren't expecting to be speaking on the call today, but it just was too good an opportunity to have another one of our partners on the call. I think Usha just wanted to say something very, very quickly. We just have a few minutes left, but I know Usha is waving in the background there.
Thank you, Emily. I just want to add one thing, like because in our area, rural area and urban area have lots of daily wages migrant people, so they lost their jobs and they don't know what is the next situation. So that is the we also think about the open that lockdown about the rehabilitation backup plan. What is the long-term rehabilitation? Because that is the situation in this area.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anuradha, did you have a final word before? I'll just say a few minutes to sort of close up, but did you get a chance to say everything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think I mentioned everything, but right now the biggest thing we are working with the state here that as soon as the second lockdown is over, how they can, and even we are helping government to strategize how one eventually they can help people to get back to their villages, especially brickyard and sugarcane, because people if they want to die, they want to die in their own village. They say they are very scared here. So we are helping government how to have a plan for this, you know. So that whole process is going on.
Yeah,
It's a lot to work on right now.
it's huge. I mean, it's so overwhelming. You're just, I can't imagine the situations that you're seeing and being faced with day after day. You know, it's really unimaginable. I wanted to say, we are sort of running out of time, but I wanted to say a huge thank you to Anuradha and Usha for taking the time to participate. You know, as we've all heard, they've been working day and night to support their communities. So we feel really, really grateful that you have taken this hour to speak to us and to tell us what's going on there. And I also wanted to say a huge thank you to Travis, because it was his idea to have these Zoom calls, and he's been working hard to organize them and to pull these virtual meetings together in a relatively short time frame. We're going to continue to organize, you know, throughout the crisis. We'll carry on organizing calls with other partners in other regions. So please do keep a lookout for upcoming Zoom calls, and hopefully you'll be able to join. I mean, I know for me, with this crisis, so many people are responding to their own needs in their community. I know across the US, I'm here in the UK, you know, people are becoming very focused on their own communities and supporting their own communities at this time, as they should. But I think one thing I feel so grateful for being involved with GoPhil for is that feeling part of a global community, and it really does feel that way with our supporters, with our community members, with people that have traveled with us, with our partners. You know, throughout this crisis, you know, it does feel like a huge global community that are looking out for each other. I know this is an extremely difficult time for everyone, but if you are in a position to help, or you could share details of the Rapid Response Fund, I think Travis has just posted the link to it in the chat box. So if you are able to share details with your friends, your families, with your communities, and if you feel able to make a contribution at all, like however small, I mean, our partners are incredible in terms of making every single dollar go such a long way. So please feel assured that if you do make a donation, or you know anyone who would like to make a donation to this, our partners will make this go very far. Thank you so much to everyone for joining. I hope you've all enjoyed the call and having a chance to hear from our partners in India firsthand. Please feel free to follow up if you had questions that you didn't have a chance to get answered, or you have feedback for us. Please feel free to send it across. I thought it would be nice at the end if everyone can switch their videos on and microphones on just for a minute. Travis, I don't know if you can help with that. We might have a terrible connection, but at least we can all see each other and wave and say goodbye.
I'm so sorry, Emily. I just have a quick addition. I seriously forgot a very important thing to mention, that our CICC has been working round the clock for taking crisis calls of women who are stuck with their violent partners, and it's been one of the greatest work that, like, Shakti Shalini has been taking up.
Yeah, no, I've heard a little bit about that, and it's really inspiring. we have, it's been the same thing in the UK, probably in the US as well. We've seen kind of under the lockdown, like the increase in domestic violence, and Shakti Shalini is really one of the few, if not the only organization in Delhi that's really providing support to women in crisis. So yeah, it's great that you've been able to reach a lot of people via phone and by social media. So thank you, everybody. I don't know if microphones are on. Travis, is it possible to unmute everybody, or do people have to do it individually? Maybe we can just all sort of say goodbye to each other, and it's nice to kind of be able to see some faces.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Be safe, everyone.
Keep going. Go on.
I just clicked there.
Thank you.
All right.